Okay, folks, we're going to start the meeting. Let's start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first tonight on the agenda is we have a few announcements to make. I guess there's only one. We need to add to the agenda, we need to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the enacting of the data center ordinance discussed at the public meeting preceding this meeting, which started at 6:30. With that being said, do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented?
Well, to
the
amend the agenda,
Oh.
then you can do that.
Okay, do I have a motion to amend the agenda?
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda.
Is there a second? Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried.
If you want to handle actually voting on the enactment now, you can do that.
Okay. Given the discussion we had 20 minutes ago regarding the publicly announced data center ordinance that we discussed, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the ordinance as presented. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried. Okay, moving on to public comment. We have three people that would like to speak. The first is Christy McLaughlin.
So I just had a couple questions / comments. When you sign in on the comment sheet, it says that the meetings are posted online. Are they all being posted online? Because I can't find them. And I know it's not question and answer, so if you want to interrupt me, go for it. Otherwise, I was going to say my couple of things here. So are they being posted online? Are the working meetings that are the end of the month on those Saturdays, are those being on Zoom? I didn't see it on Zoom. I wasn't even in the country. I was looking for it, but I didn't see it, but I didn't know if I missed it or if I had the wrong time or date or whatever. So that was my other question. And then I know you guys have a lot of bigger things going on, like the data centers, but the meeting guidelines or bylaws or whatever they're called, I forget. There's no public comment allowed by the people on Zoom, and I would just ask if you would be willing to maybe reevaluate that. Last month, I know you were not present, you're not a public comment, but I thought it went well, because even on the recording, I could hear you. I know there was like a time or two where you had to be like, I couldn't hear you, what was that? And I know the argument before with the past supervisors was they don't even know who they are. So, I don't know, maybe consider making them turn their camera on and obviously identify themselves before public comment. But there's nothing on the sign-in sheet. You guys know me, but you guys know I'm from the township. But there's nothing, I don't put my address, I don't show ID. What's the difference if at the beginning of the meeting you ask if anybody on Zoom wants to make a public comment? If they have their camera on, you'll know it's me or whoever they are. Just something to consider. So, that was all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, we have Joel Cock.
Yes. Good evening. I'll pass out the pieces in a few minutes here. My name is Joel Cock, and good evening to everyone. The board supervisors and the associated staff of the Windsor Township and residents. I'm a resident of Blue Heron Village. I've retired after 50 years in information technology, security, and a lot of experience working with federal, state, not so much local, but big city and international governments. I volunteer my time and experience to Ivan Zimmerman with Blue Heron Village itself to assist in obtaining grants for the rehabilitation of the Crispin Lake Dam. I'm here today to request The township support and assistance in obtaining an H2O high hazard dams grant from the PA Community of Economic Development. I'll say DCED after this. So, as you may know, Crispin Lake has been classified as a high hazard dam by the state, by the Army Corps of Engineers, since 1980. Over the years, there's been little remediation done for some of the issues that are there, and they're major. It's not any one, but there is a combination of things that, as the laws changed about how they looked at high hazard dams, earthen dams, spillways, things like that. So, as of April of 26, and excuse me if I read my notes, I'm way too old to remember this stuff every time. So, as of March 2026, the DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, has a court order awaiting final settlement that the dam at Crispin Lake must be drawn down and breached. It's a very harsh order has come down with it. Preliminary, we've been doing a lot of work to address the preliminary DEP requirements, and if you've gone by the lake recently, it's about a 2-acre mud puddle, and it has been drawn down over 90%. I've been working with the PA Emergency Management Agency, PEMA, who assists with finding grants and administers FEMA high hazard potential dam grants, HHPD, if you hear me say that. After 2-year lapse in FEMA and funding, FEMA announced on August 5th it is now taking applications from all 50 states for a very reduced $11.4 million across 50 states for dam rehabilitation for fiscal year 2026. The previous one in 2024 was $187 million. And just acknowledge, PA is one of the leaders in having small dams, and actually is the one, I think, might be the top leader of high hazard small dams, because we had a lot of private earthen dams being built back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. My contact at PEMA suggested we should also apply for a high hazard dams grant with the DCED called H2OPA. I'll pass out some information on the HO2PA, but it actually has grants for things like remediating dam issues. It has grants for flood control and different things like that too. Hence the H2OPA in it. What we're going to be talking about tonight is a grant for the construction phase. We're going to be remediating the dam by removing it, and going with the breach and everything else. And the goal is to take it out all the way across and spillway and everything else. That's at least our preliminary look at it. There is a roadway over the top, so that does create some interesting issues around emergency access and things like that. We think we have that covered. The H2OPA grant requires submission by one of the following agencies: the municipalities, municipal authorities, the Commonwealth, and independent agencies. I guess like Fish Commission's an independent agency. I cannot submit for it myself personally. It has to come through, either the township, the county, or move it up into FEMA. So for private dam owners, again, we need sponsorship, and we need someone who's going to be the applicant for us. Funds are available for multi-year phases of this plan from $500,000 to $20 million. We are responsible for Ivan's responsible for a 25% matching contribution. So whatever we, bring in that, or whatever we ask for in the grant, Ivan will have to come up with 25% of that. However, as we get further into it, we can use in-kind support from city or from Windsor, from the county, whatever, and that will count towards that. The cost breakdowns are in two different areas. One is the pre-awards, and that is where we submit the application and submit a lot of exhibits. I think it's 9 exhibits in total. And 8 of those we will produce and provide to be submitted. One of them, we request some information from the township on it. It's minor, but it's not something we can produce for it. That and anything pre-award, and this is the same for FEMA and every other grant I've looked at. Pre-award, they don't pay anything. It's on you. So there is probably no engineering involved, no legal involved with it, but there is going to be administrative work. It's uploading the forms, uploading the documentation, things like that, and then monitoring the award. Post-award, the township becomes the overseer of the project, almost a project manager, but you will retain project records, certify expenses, submitted for payment by H2OPA fund, and other oversight tasks. Most of those things will be online, but you'll be involved in vendor selection and everything else. There is a post-award refund back to the township. It is 2% of the grant value that we can claim and get back to the township. It's got to have receipts. For research that I did for high hazard dams that have been removed in the past 5 years from Pennsylvania, the average is about $8 million to do that, the cost to do that. It's an expensive process. It is not going to be that expensive for us. We are not of the size or the depth or anything else that has happened in other places. So we believe that's going to come in around $1.5 to $2 million. But we have some engineering studies that have to go on, and once they're taken care of, we'll have a better idea of it. If you get a chance, please review the H2OPA program guidelines, especially sections 2 and 3 for additional. And again, I'll pass out, I have 10 copies here of that. Our request is for the sponsorship and support in obtaining the funding from DCED for an H2OPA grant. We'll do everything possible to minimize the impact of the township resources during the application and project phases. We ask that where possible, if the township can provide in-kind support that will help to offset the matching funds, it'd be much appreciated. And there's things like a temporary roadway we have to build out to 143, and then help possibly with engineering or anything with the one that will go across the dam. What the project right now looks like it's going to be is we will we have to restore the natural channel of the 2 springs that are actually feeding through the dam to the other side and into Nathan Creek. So DEP typically wants a large breach all the way down to bedrock basically, and walks away. But obviously FEMA won't let them do that because again, that'll cut off emergency services. So what we're going to be proposing, and we've gotten good feedback so far before without the engineering study, is to actually put a temporary roadway in place, take out the whole dam that's there today, including the spillway and everything, put in 2 or 4 culverts, whatever is needed to handle the flow. I can't imagine more than one 36-inch culvert is really needed because there is no watershed. It's only what comes out of the springs that are in the farmland. But put in the appropriate culverts and then redirect the flow. So anything like that we could, the township could do in addition would be appreciated. Our aim is to build an ongoing relationship, to expedite the removal. If you're familiar with the Kernsville Dam, that was condemned in 2018, I think it was, and still hasn't been fully taken out yet by the DEP. So that's how many of these dams have gone, and they become an eyesore. They become a danger, and they prevent any rehabilitation of the lake bed. And so we're looking forward to convert it into flow-through ponds, wetlands, things like that. And Ivan has NGOs already lined up to work with us to take care of that and turn it into something nice, keep the, the waterfowl, which is the reason I moved there, alive and going and coming back year after year. And then we hope at that point in time, we can also open that up to Windsor Township residents. I got my back to everyone here, but is there any questions? That's a lot, I know, and try to keep it short as I could.
Well, it's probably temporary PennDOT permits, all sorts of things like that for accesses, so.
I have 10, hopefully.
Joel, I have a couple of questions. We'll have to get done passing out the packets.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Probably the wrong guy to miss. Yes, sir. You have questions?
Yeah, I have a question. And so Jane, Ben, hold on to Jane's arm so she doesn't throw something at me here, but can Jane handle all this application for you? Can Jane, our secretary treasurer, handle all the work that you need to be done?
You mean the pre-award work you're talking about, and probably the post-award too, but I think they're gonna look for a little more oversight record, that kind of thing with it. You're gonna help us pick the vendors, or the contractors we use. There's, in the federal government land, when you go for a FEMA grant, you go to Pennsylvania Commonwealth. They take it up to FEMA. If FEMA awards it, they pass it to a subservice organization who oversees it. And their job is to make sure, A, that the construction happens properly or whatever you're getting the grant for. B, that the monies are allocated properly, that, the people that come in are under contract, can meet all of the, the work requirements to work in Pennsylvania. And, keeping a lot of receipts. So the answer to that level of question, yes. Will somebody need to come out and check on the work and things like that? Yes, with that type of thing. But it's not
You
a-
say yes. Who is yes to? If she can't do it, who does it then?
Whoever probably she can. I'm not saying you can't. I have not done one of these before, so I'm being
Okay.
quite honest. I've done a lot of research as to what it is with it. And again, I really would advise you taking a look at sections 2 and 3. If you have questions more on that, I will go back to the state and get the answers.
Okay.
But my feeling is
I think-
fairly high level.
I think what you're driving at here is, I don't know that the township wants to incur a bunch of my expense, his expense,
Right.
without any hope of reimbursement.
And then I want to take
Well-
it one step further. I feel for your pain, what you thought you had, okay? We can put pins all the way out now, right? Okay? So, I feel your pain, okay? But my point is it fair for you living in the southeastern corner of the township that the people in the northwestern corner of the township is improving your property value?
I don't know that this is improving the property value, but I guess in the long term, it very well could.
Yes.
I mean, right now, the property value is really down the tubes because of, the dam being drained down and
Right.
getting ready to be, removed.
So what I'm saying to you is, and what Chris was trying to explain, we feel for you, but we can't incur this cost without reimbursement, okay?
Right.
That's my concern.
There is reimbursement for the post award. And if you
What
look
if you
at
don't
it,
get, what if you don't get it?
if you don't get the award,
Yeah, if you're not awarded the award, you get no money, they say no to you. What happens then?
I guess I'm missed there.
So you are asking us to apply for a grant.
Correct.
We do not get the grant.
Correct.
We got $30,000 of expenses here, okay?
Why?
Unless you're telling us that we will not, the township will not incur legal and engineering fees.
Not at all.
Unless we actually get the
And
grant.
you correct, that is absolutely correct. The pre-award is strictly administrative. Uploading it, I guess PA has online systems that they use for this. I know I have to do sev.go, and I have to do another one next week with FEMA. But we will produce everything that has to be uploaded.
So you're gonna go into designs and have all that done? Your designs are gonna be done?
The designs will be done, we're doing a FEMA grant, trying to get a little piece of that 11.4 million that actually has the design part of it. And so it'll be done before this. This isn't tomorrow, this is a few months, probably.
The only twist I have in there is basically if they run the program, no prevailing wages. If we are in front of the program, prevailing wages on construction. So, but maybe the grant requires them to have prevailing wages as well.
Yes,
So,
it does. There's
Since it's a
all
federal or state
all the
grant,
state level
they-
restrictions are in there for those kind of things with it, yes. Because it is a state contract at the end.
Well, I was looking at it as though if your engineer's running it, then it's one scenario. If I'm running it, it's a different scenario.
Gotcha.
Another question, I'm hearing construction, I see deconstruction. So the grant is for taking it down,
It's taking it down and building new roadways
okay?
also.
So you're gonna do what you did like at Angelica Lake.
Yeah.
It breached itself, and then they made it into a nice little walking trail.
Yeah, where Berks Nature is.
Berks Nature's at, by Alvernia. And
You're already-
they took the lake and they've turned it into
Okay.
wetlands and little fun stuff and got the channels.
So there's not gonna be a lake there in the end? There's never gonna be a lake there
There will
again?
never be a lake
Okay,
again.
Okay.
There'll be possibly some flow-through ponds and things like that, but
You're on the
there will not
Berks
be a
Nature,
lake.
that's what they did
That's
there.
kind of what that's happening.
The overhead and the work to maintain a dam today, the cost, the financial liability that you have to be able to cover, and everything else is ridiculous versus how in 1972, when they built that dam, none of that really mattered. It's probably close to $1 million a year in cost to run a dam the size of Crispin Lake.
I have another question, and don't take this the wrong way, but, this is not what I'm suggesting, but if nothing is done, what happens?
Probably, if nothing's done, besides Ivan getting gray hair like I have, there is opportunities to go to things like Penvest, things like that, to try to get the funds for it. But it will take years for this to happen then. It really is. Because a couple $1 million just for this portion of it, and you have another 200,000-300,000 that's gonna go probably around close to 3, I think, to do the engineering studies and everything else. So, that's a pretty hard nut to swallow, it really is.
I would imagine that DEP is gonna still ride them until the thing is done.
They are, the problem
But
with.
DEP, I don't believe is gonna go in there and take it out, so
No.
that's the
Well,
difference.
Well, they can't, because, there is no access for emergency services if they take it out. And that's stopping them. That will freeze it right there. FEMA won't let them do it. They can't do it. So that's kind of the butt heads kind of thing. DEP has a habit, and I don't want to disparage them, of that, the dam is drained down, there's no longer a rest, there's no hazard there. I think they'd probably be just as happy to say, okay, leave it there. But it needs to be done right, it needs to be breached, because you cannot do any of the the wetlands work or anything else like that. The NGOs will not work with you if there's still an order hanging over
Who
your
won't
head.
work with?
Excuse me?
You said who won't work with them?
Non-government organizations, American Rivers, Berks Conservancy, things like that,
Okay.
that will help us. And, he's doing that side of it. I'm just working on these grants.
Yeah, like NRCS. NRCS said they would do stream bank restoration and that kind of funding and work, but
Not,
the order has to be resolved.
we have to breach the dam and get the court order done,
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we need to move on, and we'll have to take this under advisement, and,
Thank you.
you know what I'm
Thank
saying? But you understand our concern here. right?
I absolutely understand your concerns with that. And like I said, if you look at it, it looks like pre-award, there's not much at all work. There's no engineering needed, there's no legal needed with it. That'll be taken care of beforehand for it. And we're looking down the road. I think the funding cycle that's going on now ends with the CFA, the Commonwealth Finance Organization, ends it on, their meeting's September 15th, and that's the end of it for this year. Probably be another one, because they're rolling ones, be another one early next year, I hope.
Will you also approach Berks County about assistance?
Excuse me?
Will you approach Berks County for assistance as well?
I can only do that if you tell me no.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried, because I didn't want to put the burden on the county, and they said, oh, no, you gotta go out to Windsor, so.
The Conservation District could possibly be an entity for them, since it's a government agency, and
Yeah,
as
it's a state.
as another option if the county doesn't want to play.
Joe, do you need a response from them at some point?
At some point, we'll have to have an official response back, and then I can go to the county and keep walking up the chain, you know, with it. So, it'd be nice to work with a local organization, it really would. But I understand.
We'll chat about it.
Okay, thank you. And thank
All right,
everyone
thank
here.
you, sir. Next on the agenda is Mr. Snyder from Virginville Fire Company.
Yeah, it's just a report.
Oh, okay, you want to give that during the fire?
Yeah, you said about signing in, that's the other side and sheet that's all.
Oh, okay, well, thank you. Just hold on to that for a second, okay? Okay, next, we have the minutes from last month's meeting. Does anybody have any comments on that? No?
I'm gonna move to approve last month's meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried. Next on the agenda is the Engineering and Planning Commission report. And bullet point here is Mountain Road Grant Project. That's for you, Brian.
We're in the final stages of the design for that right now. It took me a little while to get confirmation of the wetlands reports and things like that from the former engineers. So once we got that, then we had to do a little bit of survey to fill in some holes and got all that information. So we're on design. The guy who's working on it is on vacation this week, so we'll finish it up next week.
Okay.
For
Fine.
submission, I guess, to
Is
the
that-
conservation.
That's we contribute to that grant. That's not an outright grant, am I right? It requires something from us.
I don't remember the Mountain Road grant.
Okay. I'll double check. I was kind of thinking it did, but I thought maybe.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Okay.
I'd have to take a look at research on that.
Same, yeah, okay.
To see.
Thank
to
you.
get an answer.
Anything else going on, Brian, we should know about?
No, I think everything else is in my report, and I don't know if I have anything else.
All right, thank you. Ryan, you're at next up with zoning and code enforcement report.
Yes, I have, I've had this for a while. On 118 Southeast Drive, I went and served the lady prior, but it was the husband, he passed. So I wrote citations for the lady living there, but she didn't accept it, so I'm gonna have to get a constable involved to serve, so we'll have to figure that out. This is my first time getting the constable involved.
I have one.
Okay, so I'm just letting you make.
Refresh my memory, what's the issue there?
The house is in disrepair and the property is in disrepair in accordance with ordinance 41. So we wrote a violation letter, actually several, took the husband to court several times, he has passed. So I rewrote it for the wife who owns the property now, and now she's not accepted. Like I posted the property, she removed my posting within 24 hours. So then I cited her for that and the issues. and now they asked me to get a constable to serve the
Which address is it?
118 Southeast Drive.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it says 110, it's 118. Sorry, apologize.
How old is this person? Elderly?
No,
No.
50s.
Okay. I was gonna suggest maybe the Office of Aging should get involved, but
No.
doesn't sound like that's the issue.
I don't think so, but I see multiple people there, so I've only ever seen the husband
Okay,
prior to passing.
all right.
That's all, unless you have any questions about my.
You got, what about your ongoing issues?
All of them are, yeah, in limbo. The one I have an issue over here with is, zoning issue on Mountain Road with, truck usage. I don't have that on here because I'm currently, gonna have to write a civil citation for that, against the zoning code. So that'll go forward. And then I have, still open as the Coffin property because I have to rewrite now the notice of violation to include the whole property. So I'm gonna do 2 different notice of violations for the whole property. If you have any questions, you can ask me about that. It's not a problem.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, so that got kind of technical because basically what's gonna have to happen, I think, I'm gonna have to prove the R2 line on that property. And I think we're gonna have to do that.
Well, wasn't there engineering drawings submitted with that line drawn on there?
Yes, but because I am submitting a complaint and I am issuing the problem, the judge said I'm gonna have to submit where that line formally is. I don't know if she can require that, but I think that's what's gonna, that's what's gonna have to go forward. So we're gonna discuss that, but I am trying to figure that all out because the other stuff is still operating without a zoning permit on the other side of the thing, so I was gonna rewrite it again. The long fence company, that's still operating on the other side. It just moved, but it still doesn't have a permit to operate on that property. The only thing that had a permit was the conditional use for the H&K farm, was it H&K? So really, technically, I got a more detailed report next.
Okay. Anything else? That's it. Thank you, Brian. Next on the agenda is a solicitor report.
The only item on my report, I was given an equipment rental agreement in a very simple form by Jane. Currently, our insurance company is requiring that we have some type of rental agreement, and I think it's a good idea, with a local farmer who we lease various equipment from time to time. So in order to insure that property, insurance company wants a simple rental agreement. I've reviewed what Jane has given me. I think it's fine for the purposes that we need it for.
Okay. Any comments? That's all.
So I guess, Jane, would you be looking for a motion to enter into the rental agreement?
If you think we need a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to enter into the rental agreement with the farmer.
Okay.
Do you know his name offhand?
Could it be used for anybody though?
Yeah, it could be used.
Yeah, it could be used for anybody.
For
right?
any private.
Anything
Any-
that has equipment
Anything any equipment
that
rental,
somebody
sure,
needs.
sure.
Okay.
So I don't know that, if we're gonna use this as a blanket form, I don't know that we technically need a motion.
Okay.
Just disregard that.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all that I have.
That you all have. Okay, next on the agenda is the SEO report. I don't believe we have a representative here tonight.
I have 2 things though from him to go over with you. We still have the complaint open at 118 Southeast Drive where the septic is overflowing or leaking or something. He has been in contact with Chris
Route
about the
143.
legality of that.
They're different addresses?
Jane, you mean 143? 143 is the septic issue. 118 Southeast Drive was the.
Oh, I
my
have the
issue.
wrong
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
Pardon me.
No, you're fine.
143.
I was just, so you have it corrected.
Yeah. So he's probably gonna have to take legal action, but
Yeah.
now he said that,
He wants to give him one last opportunity to try to come into compliance. So
Right.
he's going to go out there one last time and try to,
talk to them. But there's also a rumor that the bank may be foreclosing on the property soon. So we're not sure what's gonna happen, but he's staying on top of it. And he's talking with Chris about the legalities of, what he needs to do. The other thing is the Dwyer subdivision that we're reviewing right now. This is the one where they're just subdividing the property to give a piece to the farmer, and it has the overhead wires, so it's an unbuildable lot. So because it's a non-buildable lot, Mr. Dwyer applied for a waiver for non-building declaration. So Brandon went over all of this. He said he meets all the requirements. There's no reason why we can't give him the waiver. So he was hoping that you would approve the waiver and sign the waiver tonight for him.
Run that by me again. What are we giving a waiver for?
There's no proposed septic system.
Oh,
Right.
Because
no
it's an
proposed-
agricultural lot, there's an existing house that has an existing septic system
Oh, okay.
that appears to be functioning, I believe.
The piece of land that they're subdividing off doesn't have the house. That's what
Correct.
they're asking the
They're
waiver for.
They're subdividing it in two pieces. The lot they're cutting off is agricultural, so you do what is called as a Form B waiver, which basically says we're waiving land planning for sewage now because there's nothing going on.
Okay.
Every time you create a new lot or a new land development, you have to file for Act 537 planning, and that's what this is.
Okay.
Even though it's agricultural and
You're not putting a septic system
there's
on, so they don't
nothing
care.
being built there.
Right, so you have a note that goes with that Form B waiver that goes on the plan that says, we acknowledge that we didn't do sewer planning. If something happens here, we have to go back to sewer planning with DEP, because you create the lot because it meets zoning. It doesn't have the approval from the DEP that it actually can have a septic system.
And the subdividing was just because of ownership?
They're knocking off a 15-acre piece of agricultural for whatever, I don't know.
Ownership.
For farming.
Well,
So
for
the
some,
property's
I
being-
guess somebody else is getting the piece, I don't know. I don't know the details, but one's gonna be the residential, one's gonna be agricultural piece.
Gotcha.
They didn't talk about sales or anything like that. Not sure if you wanna wait for this until they bring the subdivision through, because they have to finish the subdivision and get the planning commission recommendations and then.
so I'm gonna recommend you take no action on this tonight. They're gonna have to come before you anyway for the subdivision to seek approval. When they come before us, let them ask.
Personally, it is, I don't have a problem with it, because
I understand.
it's the way, it's the proper way to do the planning.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
And
let's
DP.
do it all in one fell swoop.
Sure, okay.
Okay.
Because they're gonna have subdivision waivers as well to discuss.
Mhm.
Because I know that, they asked for possibly waivers of wetland delineation and a few other things on there.
Okay. We're done with that?
That's it? Anything else?
Done.
Okay, thank you. Up next is the fire services and EMS report. Hamburg's listed first, so we'll start with Scott.
For the month of July, we had 77 calls. For Windsor, we had 12 calls for the month. For year-to-date for Windsor is 82. Year-to-date, we responded to 493 calls out of 811. County radio refresh project will be still being discussed amongst the officers. We'll have a final needs ready to present next month. Provide detailed assistance to Hamburg PD, provided fire prevention to 2 community groups. 3 members have begun VRT module training program, which is vehicle rescue training. 3 members participating in Pump 2 class. Hearst tools have been ordered for the local share of the LSA grant we received, and attached are the mutual aid given and received reports.
Hey, Scott, the 12 calls, Windsor Township?
That's for July, yeah.
All right, yep, are these broken down as far as what were actual fire calls?
We can break them down in our report, what they actually are. She didn't send that with me, so.
Okay.
Probably right now it's been brush fires and motor vehicle accidents, probably.
78.
No. Tilden's been 78, but Windsor's pretty good right now, 78, knock on wood.
Any questions? Scott, I asked last 2 meetings for some information, we still haven't received it. And I asked Jane to put some numbers together today, just to give you perspective, and the residents of the township some perspective of what's being asked, okay? Currently, based on your budget that you sent last month, okay? I believe it was
Well, the financial report?
the financial, well, it's the budget
Well,
on.
I put the budget on the financial report.
Yeah, the budget's on the financial report, okay? And I think, we need to look at the big picture here. And we're not gonna squabble about this tonight, but we need to get this on the open, and we need to get this addressed. Hamburg is contributing $80,000 a year, Tilden's 48, and Windsor is 56.
Yes, to Windsor, Tilden keeps $9,800 for the trucks.
They what?
They keep an extra $9,800 out of there. Their total is actually 56.
Okay, that's fine, so we'll call that 56. Same as us here, okay? One of the concerns that I have is, we always talk about the number of calls, which is how much service the fire company's giving each municipality. And the ratio seems off a little bit, okay? For the number of calls versus the contributions. And Jane will get into the budget issues that we have, but she prepared this, I'm just gonna read through this for everybody to understand. Which we did not know this at the time, but currently, the way it's presented, Hamburg is contributing 44%, Tilden 26%, and Windsor 30% of those funds. I don't know what's going on with the truck contribution, but we agreed 2 years ago to average over 5 years, $25,000 per year. Our budget's $600,000. 56,000 for our contribution plus another 25. Virginville, we're donating 24,000 a year. EMS 6,400. That's $111,500, which is 18.5% of the budget. And then we're contributing to the library and honor roll, which we're up to $115,000, which is 20% of the budget's being for these services, which we're required to help to do that. But what I'm saying to you is going forward and asking more and more and more, and Mr. Cox asked some money for this, there's just not enough money to go around for all these things, okay? That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna have to come up with an overall master plan if we're gonna do more. Because there's not enough in the budget to just hand out another $100,000. And I'm just sharing it with you, that we need to come up, we, the group, us, need to come up with an overall plan.
I've never, this year, have asked for any more money.
Right, I know.
That's what I'm saying. I remember when we did that study, we said we agreed for 5 years to run with that.
Okay. Well, you're asking for the radios now.
I haven't asked for a dime yet for the radios, Jerry.
Okay. All right, well, next month, okay? But when we talk about that, we're gonna think about how we're gonna get there, is what I'm saying. I don't think we're
Right.
saying no.
No, I haven't
I
asked
just-
for a dime yet
Okay.
either. but I'm also running different numbers to figure out which way is the fairest way to divide it out.
Okay,
And I will tell you this, Windsor is the least amount.
okay. Well, I'm just sharing with you what my concern is, that we need to essentially come to a meeting of minds on this at some point. And I don't know what.
Gee, I have a question on the percents though.
Yeah,
Because I get 23, 17, and 17. Because the fire company puts, our fund drive's $50,000 alone. Because normally our budget, I'm right around 48%, the fire company raises like almost half of our budget.
okay. No, I'm not,
Right.
I'm just
No,
talking
I'm
about
just-
the municipality, 3 municipalities.
Right, yes, but right now I said to figure it out, it's 23, 17, and 17 when you divide it out on the budget. I'm just asking.
Okay, Well, I'm just-
$80,000 into 334,000.
I'm doing that by 184. Is what-
Oh, you're adding it up by what the municipality
Yes,
did. I
yes.
go off the total budget.
Okay, well, I'm just looking
I'm
at the
just-
municipalities.
Right, I go off the total budget, what the total number is.
Yeah, and what the municipalities are contributing, and what they're, what you're.
Well, that's
what
not
you-
really the,
But it's compares to how much service you provide in each municipality is what I'm looking at.
well, then we're gonna talk services then too.
No, I'm just,
Oh, yeah.
we could debate, I'm not. one to
No,
debate.
but I'm just saying, you know, I mean, I can figure out what it costs to take a truck out the door no matter what call it is.
I understand. I'm just sharing with you that we gotta do something big picture going forward. That's what I'm suggesting. And I don't know what that answer is.
I can't help everything got expensive either.
Yeah, we're all facing it, every front.
Oh, I know that.
Okay. All right, that's just what I want to add.
Taxes go to Williamson.
Virginville, Mr. Snyder, would you like to make any comments?
You guys should have our reports. They were sent over within the past couple days, I think.
Yes, we have that up there.
All right, then I don't think there's anything else from Burtonville this month.
Good, Holly. I mean, do you have any questions, George? Okay. Next is the roads and parks update. We got on here anti-skid and salt purchase. I think, Jane, you and Ben were discussing this issue.
If we were gonna get the extra anti-skid and salt. But then Ben and I were talking about it yesterday too, because with the AMS bill, we just depleted the state liquid fuels account to pay for the seal coat bidded job. So, I mean, if we want Ben to get some anti-skid and salt before September 11th, we can still do that. It'll have to come out of general fund. If we have a mild winter this winter, then might have enough to get through the winter.
We have almost 300 ton of salt on hand, but
Unless,
normally we average 400 a season.
Okay.
So if we hit a mild winter, we might.
so, I mean, we could spend money now
'Cause
and, not need it. Or we could wait and see what the winter's like, and then we'll have to pay that higher amount and take it out of general fund next year anyway, because our funds won't come till March. Right, liquid fuels comes in March, I'm pretty sure. So it's just like this, you don't know what the winter's gonna do, we might be okay, we might not, so do we wanna just take our chances, or do we wanna just spend money?
because right now, our salt bin is full, but we need anti-skid. The anti-skid's less than half.
Mhm.
So normally we mix salt with our anti-skid when we use it. So I had suggested about getting 100 ton of anti-skid, which would be around $3,000 delivered in. And then get another 100 ton of salt and mix that in right away. Then you have 400 ton of salt on hand. and that's about average what we use. But that 100 ton of salt would have to come out of the general fund.
But it would be coming out at this lower rate before it goes up
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
82.
It would be coming out of like the $75, $76 instead of the $84.
And if we wait till the end of the season, we'd be running up against, again, coming out of the general fund, but then we'd be paying the higher price.
Yeah, you'd definitely be paying 80, and there's actually a thing that said that they're gonna have at least a 10% fuel surcharge on it starting in December. So, because they can't guarantee what, so it's gonna be even more. So-
Covered, yeah, it's good.
Can we swing this? Can we swing this the way the budget is?
How much we took?
He said 3,000, I heard.
And
It
then,
was $3,000 for the anti-skid
and then
hauled
another
it,
8?
and then we're at 76, I think it is, or $75. On 100 tons, so that's what, $7,500 roughly.
So,
10,000.
yep.
So, yeah, between the two, yeah.
For
10,000.
materials we might not need.
What was the one where I saw
But
that,
then
did they
it will
up
go
the
to waste.
percentage that you have to take
It won't go to waste.
on one of those?
No.
I thought
That's,
they-
not one.
Yeah, that, I saw one of those raise
Yeah.
the percentage you had to take, so.
Yeah, we're through the
It's coming out of
county.
capital.
So far, they don't have that.
That can come out of liquid fuels.
No, there's no more money in liquid fuels. That's what I'm saying, there's no more money in liquid fuels. That is all for, major equipment purchase. So I depleted the liquid fuels account today when I paid AMS. So it would still have to come out of general fund.
It either comes out of the general fund this year or early next year. Either way, it's coming out.
And it's cheaper now to do that.
Yeah.
The only thing we're trying to consider is if we want to like roll the dice on this and
Yeah,
we have a mild winter.
It was a super El Nino, so I don't know what that means.
We haven't had a mild winter in 4 years, so we're kind of
Is this the
due,
one?
but it's.
But also,
I
if we
think
wait,
I think so.
we don't have to order till January, February, we won't have to take it out of capital reserve in January, February.
Doesn't that one
If we
usually
spend it
snows?
now, we gotta take it out. of
Usually
capital
snows like January, February. Yeah.
We're
Jim,
just
you
gonna
know
make a
what the
decision.
budget is looking like. I don't know. Without knowing what the budget looks like, because I haven't seen it, I would think it'd be wiser to do it now, because either way, it's coming out of the general fund. I know you just said it's coming out of the capital reserve if we take it now.
You just lost your,
Yeah.
it's rebooted.
I just don't know what the budget looks like. I don't know where we
I
stand.
think it'll be okay. We do it.
Yeah, we're still okay.
Yeah, we
Is
do
there
it now, we do it
is
now.
there something else that we were planning on doing that we can push off for a couple of months?
Because if it's
No.
gonna be $10,000 and the fuel surcharges are gonna be more next year than they are this year. And it's gonna be, what is it? Did it go up $8 a ton?
Yeah.
And it went up $8 a ton, so
So you're looking at 89.
so we're looking at 8,000 just for salt in February, whereas we could spend 10,000, get the salt and anti-skid now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so.
Because while they said right now it's set at 10% for the fuel surcharge, that might even go up yet.
So it's like a $2,000 savings,
But that starts in December.
buying it now or buying it later.
And when you say now, is that by the end of this month?
September
or-
11th,
September 11th.
September 11th,
All right.
that's what we're buying.
so it has to be decided now.
Is it-
I would decide now so we can get the order in. Like, I wouldn't wait until,
All right, I guess we need to make a motion on this, or what?
You just tell Ben what you want to do.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that on September 10th, we order salt and anti-skid, okay, at the price that was just discussed. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye is carried, September 10th. Don't spill any, Ben.
No promises.
I'm gonna be calling you, Ben, at 8 o'clock on September 10th.
Okay, next on the agenda is the Edenburg Park grant. It says pressure washing, painting has been arranged. Are you handling that, Ben?
Yeah, I contacted him, and it's gonna be at the very end of this season if he gets to it.
Okay.
So it'd be like early October.
If it's wet and cold, cancel it, okay?
Well, yeah, he won't do it anyway, but, because he's, with the weather and humidity, it's pushing him around, so,
Okay.
so.
And then we have one October 17th rental. That's what I think that's working for that. It's a full rental.
And what about the, you got that taken care of? Did we get the gutters worked out yet?
No,
Nothing's on that?
No.
we could
We're
just,
pursuing that?
we just stick with that one that we got, but.
Let's make sure that we get that price updated. We're gonna have to put lead guards on there because that's gonna be a mess. You follow me what I'm saying?
I gotta see if they even do that.
Well, we gotta do that up front because otherwise it's gonna be full and there's no point of it.
I have a question on that. What do you think of, so, okay, so the grant gave us $13,000 for painting. And it's interior and exterior. And then the pressure washing is $650. So we're at $2,900 with Roth, right?
Yeah.
Can we do?
Recording in progress.
Like, can we do the other buildings? Like, can we do the little softball shack, or because there's money allotted to that, and I don't think we can take that and put it to.
What's the title say up here?
Just as painting a pavilion.
It says park improvement project.
Yeah, so it's.
Park improvements, park
So,
improvements.
and then at the stage, is that really, what's,
I wouldn't even waste my
really,
That's too far going.
so the part that's bad, like, can you stand on that, on the stage?
Yeah.
It's stage, so what's the bad part, around the back?
The back section, that two-story addition that's on the
Oh,
back,
so I'm not really familiar with how that.
where the old restrooms used to be.
Yeah, downstairs, like, okay.
But the water is actually leaking through the stage part and
Really?
stuff.
Okay.
Because depending on when you go in, there's water coming down through, down onto like the mower and stuff. So.
Flex seal.
I just, there you go. I just feel like there was, the sheet somehow it got us $13,000 for the painting, which isn't, I mean, we could paint something else, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, let's look into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I, well, there's not much to paint on the concession.
No,
stand.
there isn't, but it'd be something.
Because it's just the door, the overhead
Yeah.
doors that flip up.
Do one of those hex signs.
So that would take up the whole
Yeah.
section.
So what?
Well, it's, yeah.
All right,
See if he comes out
Anything else in the
See
park?
that.
Anything else
Yeah.
in the park, Ben?
You have anything else, Mike?
Just, it's September 13th. This is a Sunday that I shall be gone, so we'll have to open and close the park for me. And if there's any grass cutting during that week, I'm gone from the 7th to the 17th.
We don't have another meeting before then,
Are you gonna take care of that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's all I have.
I do want to ask something of Ben. How do we set up now, since we're talking about winter, how do we set up for winter? Are we good, like employee-wise? You see it going to the winter better than last year? Like, what do you foresee, and what do you need to get into the winter? Staff-wise, maybe equipment-wise, I don't know if, did you need any of the, like, I don't know when you do the plow blades and stuff, I know you talked about that.
That we have in inventory.
Okay.
Because as they wear down, I
You can
switch
switch
them out.
So is there anything like we could start looking at now to make sure we're set for November, December this year?
Big thing is staff.
Is it better though, or do you still need something?
I could use like 2 to 3 more people. Because that way we could rotate.
Drivers?
Yeah. Because now we do have Jeff on. I don't know if Kevin's gonna be plowing.
Is he CDL?
No,
Oh.
he's not. So The only one we picked up for the CDL was Jeff.
Okay.
So now, I had mentioned to Kevin about plowing, he said he'll let me know,
Okay.
you know.
I
But,
didn't say no.
yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay.
But then, too, then if he's with us, then we pull him away from the fire company. So
Okay.
it's one of those, who gets him first?
Okay.
Put the flat on the fire engine.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, Brian, you're up next.
Um,
Subdivision land development report.
I guess from Blue Heron Village, the first thing we had on that is we did a review letter dated August 8th, and I think representatives are here to discuss waivers tonight.
You're up, Rob.
Okay. Good evening. So last we were here in December, we got conditional plan approval for this. Since then, you guys switched out consultants. We've been working with your new engineer on this. Previously, we talked over a bunch of different the requirements for standard planning, and there was sort of a more relaxed plan that we had submitted because we're not creating anything new. We're trying to formalize lot boundaries for the existing houses and structures that are residences that are out there, and sort of bring everything to a point where at least everybody knows where their lot boundaries are, and everybody has we have something on plan and a plan of record, so that way the township and anybody else can go back to that to make sure that they have something solid to go off. A number of comments, we have a number of additional waivers requested, and there's a number of comments in the conditional use review from the new engineering consultant that we were hoping we could discuss tonight to see if we can get some leniency on some of these. Just looking to try and avoid additional delays in time and cost for Ivan to get this plan across the finish line here, so we can get something recorded.
So once you get this accomplished, these waivers accepted or denied, what's the next step here then? What are you gonna be doing next?
So next, there's still some comments from the township engineer review letter that we can address with plan changes. We would make those and get them back to him to review. And assuming he's okay with that, if we can come to an understanding on every night, we would update the plan. He would review and say if he gives us his blessing, and you guys reaffirm your conditional plan approval tonight, then we would just come back in with plans when they're ready for signatures. If you guys don't feel comfortable reaffirming the plan approval tonight, then we'd have to work with your engineer some more until you get to that point, and then we can record the plan after the plan approval has been reaffirmed, because it's been over 90 days since you guys.
Technically, you don't need to reaffirm the plan, you just need to have Jane write a letter when I'm satisfied and Chris's are satisfied with all the requirements. You don't have to bring it back to a board meeting. That's one way to get it approved so that you can get it recorded.
Okay. And then you're gonna proceed forward with the HOA?
Correct.
That's the goal here.
That's the goal.
That's what the goal is we're doing here. 'Cause
Yes.
that's what-
Once once the lot layout has been something that the township is comfortable with, then we can formalize the agreements for the HOA, because all those meets and bounds dimensions have to.
So, please, I don't wanna cause more work and delay this, but I always struggled before with neighbors being close and complain about little trivial nonsense things, okay? There's some boundaries. I understand the property's owned by one entity, but this is my yard, right?
Right.
Okay, that dispute. Now, if the lake is drained, does it make sense to mark those corners too? I mean, if you already have an engineer, or a survey done, is that hard to do?
It's not hard, it's just time consuming, that's all it
Okay.
is. It's
Actually,
just-
some of it will be hard, there's some steep slopes that
There
you have a
are.
hard time.
No,
I'm just talking about future disputes, okay? Because nobody knows where the line's at.
Technically, they could set a pin on line at the top of the bank instead of in the lake.
Okay,
Some of
But
those
it will
lots
be
that-
short of
Sure.
where the property line is, but it's a good reference
Okay.
because the next line's in the lake.
I don't care. You follow me? I don't care, but I just think this should be addressed if it's all open now instead of having future problems. Chris, you tell me what your thoughts are on this.
I hear you. I don't dispute what you're saying, and the whole point of this is try to avoid future disputes, and so that the township has a baseline here. What I'm gonna suggest tonight is just to deal with the waivers. Let's address the waiver issue. I think there's a couple things, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you wanna work out with Rob with respect to addressing the conditional use comments.
Yeah, there's a few comments that I need me to comment on, and a few that you need to weigh in on, since
So
there's not enough information for us to all solve the problem.
I'm gonna suggest this. Let's address the waivers tonight.
Okay.
Let's schedule a time for all three of us to put our heads together to address the comments.
Okay.
And then come back when we have all of that addressed. And we'll consider the reaffirmation, or whatever you wanna call it, of
Okay.
the plan.
The only thing I would caveat I'd say is there was two non-conformities that the latest review letter suggested that variances would be required for. And,
I'm gonna suggest we discuss it at our meeting.
okay, all right. So if you'd like, I can go over the new waivers. So you guys had approved waivers in December with the conditional plan approval. I can go over the additional waiver requests that we're asking for tonight.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, do you guys have a copy of this letter?
I think it's in front of you. That's the-
Yes, this one here, yes.
August 7th.
All right, so primarily this is a lot of additional plan detail for existing features on the property. So sections 402.1 and 402.3A, existing resource and site analysis and context plan. Again, this is, it would show steep slope areas, wetlands, woodland areas and stuff. All very pertinent when you're proposing new development. Since we're not actually proposing new development here, we're asking for relief from that. The second waiver request is section 402.3 subsection B subsection 3 and 403.1 subsection N to delineate wetlands. Again, if we were proposing new development, it makes sense to delineate wetlands in case there might be an area that you want to avoid with new development. We're asking for relief from that. Next one would be section 402.3 B4 for locating and identifying all trees in caliber in excess of 15 inches. Again, there's a lot of wooded areas on the site. It would take extensive work to locate every tree that's over 15 inches and show it on the plan. As no development's being proposed, we're asking for relief. Next would be section 402.3D and 403.5, resource impact and conservation plan. This is very much similar to the existing resource and site analysis plan, in addition to analyzing what the development might have effects on the existing resources. So since we're not doing any development, we're asking for relief from that section of the ordinance. Next, we're asking for relief from section 402.3E, subsection 13, and 403.9 shade trees. Again, there's a lot of woods that's out there now. We're not asking for any new lots or new development, so we're asking for relief from planting shade trees along these existing roads. Last but not least, section 402.5 is the traffic impact study requirement. Again, as we're not adding any new lots, we're not creating any additional traffic by this plan, we're asking for relief from that section of the ordinance.
I don't have a problem with those waivers on this plan. Future plans, different story.
Okay.
We would maybe some of those might be able to get waivers in the future, but I think for this plan, I think it's reasonable request.
I believe the traffic impact study was a condition of the previous plan approval, was that when they move forward with future phases for additional development.
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5,
So
any of those is traffic study.
all this is covered in the next part of that, which was supposed to be developed of the north side.
Correct.
So this, I have no problems with, especially for what's covered in and recorded already for the phases that we've done.
Correct.
So if you're inclined, you can make a blanket motion to include all those waivers in one, deal with them all in one fell swoop.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the waivers as presented in this August 7th, 2026 letter to the Board of Supervisors. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Ayes carried.
And Rob, just communicate with us and send us an email. We'll get on a Zoom call.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, next next on your list is C2C Design Group.
Yes. Looks like you have a waiver request letter to waive land development review by Windsor Township. Based off of discussions I've been hearing about plowing of roads by other municipalities and how the houses are situated in here.
This is the proposed new development.
This is the
This
proposed
is
new
this
development.
map here.
You have a different plan.
Yes,
than what
they
they
have a
have.
Oh, they have a different one?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
These lots are-
slightly different than
these-
what
Okay.
you have right here.
All right.
That's what I recall seeing before. This is new tonight.
Specifically with respect to
This-
lots 15 and
Wait,
16.
I thought I was given
No,
both
it-
of those at the same time.
Here, bring that one over here so I can
Yeah.
show.
I just saw it tonight with the Hamburg Planning Commission meeting. This is the one,
So this is what's different here,
Yeah.
15 and 16, so, and 14. 14, 15, 16.
yeah.
What's different? Oh, they took the houses
They
off.
took the houses off.
Well,
So-
No, but this is what was submitted to Hamburg tonight.
That-
This
This was
is submitted to Hamburg tonight, but the
It's the same layout, they just took the buildings off of that one,
Correct,
off of 3 lots.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So my recommendation would be, you would grant the waiver that we waive land development, but they need to take all improvements out of Windsor Township. Well, shorten the cul-de-sac
This
possibly.
is,
Well, I don't-
this
or-
line is 50 feet off.
Even the stormwater?
What do you mean?
Which one?
Mine's
Which
50
Borough-
feet
This
up.
line is 50 feet.
Well, no, but
When
what
you
I'm
say
looking at is,
Up, this line, so
So
Broad,
it's not correct?
no.
So
This
you're saying that line
where
was
it
in-
bottlenecks, you can see where it changes. This line should be almost up here. The sign is up here.
Okay, but take your finger and go back to the back of the cul-de-sac.
So it would go like this.
So stop right there. You just captured 3 more properties.
Yeah, they
So
need
there's a
to
lot.
correct that line. It
Well,
was brought to attention tonight at the Hamburg.
my
meeting.
point is that you were talking about going back and forth with different municipalities, so technically this is Windsor Township's portion of cul-de-sac. So if you were not gonna maintain or do anything with that road and it's all on Hamburg, then you could waive land development. You have a lot line that, you have the township line that runs right through one of the residents on lot 16. It's just off the corner of 17, but that one's probably gonna be drawn in. But my thought would be that, you have things that are
So they're
between
adding,
municipalities.
In light of what
necessary.
Ryan just enlightened us with tonight, that really this line is off and there's actually more homes that are captured in those.
I believe it has to be corrected.
Then I think you have no choice but to reject their request to waive land development. At this point, they come back and they change their plan and somebody's actually here to present to us, maybe we change our
well,
mind.
even if the line was right, why would we allow them to proceed without?
Well, if you don't have any homes that are being developed in Windsor Township, the
But
argument.
all the
They're
stormwater.
creating the lots, but they're not showing you a house. That's
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds it's a sketch plan, but it is sketchy.
So my advice is to reject their request at this point.
But they're not here to represent themselves either,
No,
so.
no.
But they should present it with a revised
So
township
there's no
law.
action
I
being
want to know
taken.
why he has something different than what they gave me.
This is what was, you emailed to me,
That's what I emailed to you?
yes,
So,
and I printed it.
And
This
this
is
is
what
what
they
they
gave you.
sent me in the mail,
All,
and they're different.
the only difference are the houses on those 3 lots. They
All
took the grade-
I know is
they
I
took-
was at the Hamburg meeting and GVC brought up that the line needs to be moved to where it bottlenecks, where the sign changes. And that's about 50 feet. And it was brought to the attention of by email to the developer.
Okay, so we're just moving on to the next topic, right? We're not doing anything with this.
Well, you want
Do we
to
move
vote
on?
to table it, or?
you can vote, I would just table it for now.
Okay, I make a motion, we table the plan presented. Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Ayes carried.
So table it until they get us corrected drawings?
And then somebody comes in here.
Yeah, someone comes to the meeting.
We don't have a deadline on this or anything?
No,
I was just telling them they need to be here at the next meeting.
it's a sketch plan, and we haven't done anything with it, so it's
Okay.
nothing, no timetables.
So next on the topic on the agenda is old business, and my favorite subject is the sidewalk agreement, okay? To bring everybody up Chris and Brian and Ryan, that you may have known, last year, this was brought up by PennDOT through the solicitor and was drafted, plans were drafted, agreements were drafted, and we elected then to table it. Since then, they came back to Chris and wanted to bring it back up again. We went around in circles, and just for the public's information here, what is the width of that right of way through there? Do you know the number? I was told, I forget.
It's gotta be at least 60.
No, it's more than
Are
60.
you talking 61 right away?
Is it 90, a couple feet?
I thought it was the whole right away width, I think it's 120.
120.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the point. The road's here, the right-of-way is 120 feet, is everybody's front door. So they have the highway through that section of Windsor Township, goes up to almost everybody's front door. Some cases, it's on the porch, first step, other cases back 5 feet. There was a conference call that I joined 2 weeks ago with some of the PennDOT officials and their attorneys, and 2 representatives from Hamburg were on that call. And bottom line is, you know, as you ask questions, everything's sketchy and no sharing of information. These people that has this front yard, which is the state right-of-way, has shrubs, a bird bath, trees, concrete pillars at the end of their walkway,
And mailbox.
mailbox, telephone poles. The mailboxes are gonna stay. They might be moving the road back 6 or 12 inches, widen it. They want the rest of the area cleared for safety of vehicles to exit off the highway if there's an emergency. So one gentleman was here last week I talked to. He has a little bit of a barrier wall to go into his garage. They're taking that out. The shrubs, trees all have to be removed. Meanwhile, Chris, they're coming to us and want us to take over the maintenance of the walkway from the front door to the mailbox. My personal opinion is, it's not mine, it's 3 of us. If they're gonna take everything else out, why are we going to assume that sidewalk responsibility, create an ordinance, flip it back to them, and then create a problem and bureaucracy for the rest of the residents in the township in the future on snow removal?
Yeah, well, and my problem with this from the get-go is the agreement that was presented to us by PennDOT had language in it that says, once the sidewalks are put in,
Put in?
They're in.
or excuse me,
And they're not sidewalks, they go from the front, and there's no sidewalks in the township.
Oh, lead walks to the house.
They're lead walks to the house, yes.
yeah, so, my understanding is that to maintain these walks, it's our responsibility. If they're not maintained, then they can withhold liquid fuel funds, from the township.
Well,
Which,
my understanding is if we don't take possession of them, they're gonna take them out. And then Hamburg is working with them to get this liquid fuel comment corrected in that agreement.
I
It's
don't
my
know,
understanding.
I don't believe that PennDOT's gonna take it out.
Okay.
Is my understanding, is PennDOT is unwilling to take that out.
So if they're gonna clear everything else off of that lot, what are we keeping a sidewalk there for?
So they can get to their mailbox. Continue to get to their mailbox. That's what it's for.
But if we're responsible to maintain it, and they just use it
Well,
to
we-
walk from
we-
their front
we
door to
put-
their
we put
mailbox.
we put the maintenance by our own ordinance for all this stuff back on the resident. Okay, so if the resident doesn't maintain it, then they can withhold our liquid fuel funds, which then puts us in a fight with the resident to get this corrected while our liquid fuel funds are being withheld. I just see potential for problems. So,
There's tons of problems.
How do you see out of it
What
then?
happens if you just reject the agreement?
yeah, I'm with you. So here's my suggestion. I don't think Hamburg's made a determination one way or the other on this
No,
either.
we just talked about it tonight.
Yeah, so what was the consensus?
No, they still need to work some things out because of the language in that agreement. And the sidewalks need to be decided because.
Well, they actually have sidewalks in the borough.
Well, they told us that, the PennDOT told us that they don't have to meet ADA standards. And that's not true at all. PennDOT literally came back and told Michael that we don't have to meet ADA standards. That's not true at all.
Well, the existing sidewalks don't have to be, but if they propose
The
anything, we
new
have.
sidewalks and crosswalks will be, are inspected.
So,
They should.
Yeah.
so in any event, my.
Well, let me make sure I'm clear here. We decide, like we did a year ago, we do nothing.
Yeah,
The liquid fuel money is not in jeopardy.
and nobody has threatened us with that at this point.
And I think,
Do nothing. I'm going to follow up with the representative from PennDOT, and I'll coordinate with the solicitor for the Borough of Hamburg, and we'll try to see where we stand. But as of right now, do nothing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Don't let that language in there. It's just sad. It's just, and look what they're doing. I mean, we can't, up here, we're trying to get them to clear the right of way.
so Ryan, or Chris, we addressed this a year ago. Why are we talking about it again?
They came back?
Well,
Because they want to start in fall.
Yeah, they want to start.
They want to start fall 2027.
I understand, but we rejected it a year ago.
I don't think we formally rejected it. We didn't formally reject it.
Table it.
Yeah, you tabled it.
Okay.
And it kept going down the road, and then they went away, because they went away in Hamburg. They presented a full plan.
Not right now, not right now. We'll just, let me get,
You still have time.
yeah,
Okay.
let me just follow up with them and we'll see where we go.
I definitely would say wait to see what Hamburg's gonna do for a minute, and then go forward, because the Hamburg has a lot more on their plate. It's actual sidewalks and ADA ramps and crosswalks.
All right, done with this for now?
Mhm.
Okay. Under new business, we have a resolution number 26-8 authorizing the tax collector to impose and collect fees for additional required services. I'm not aware of what this is about.
Okay, so I emailed this to you earlier. So in the beginning of the year, we should have done a resolution authorizing the tax collector to charge fees for things she needs to do. And we get to determine what those fees are, like
Charge fees to who now?
to residents.
Okay?
So,
Or-
like, she charges $5 per duplicate bill issued.
That the
which-
residents request.
Yeah, if they request a duplicate bill, they could charge $5. It's been $5, I think, for like 20 years. And then if she gets a bounced or returned check, she can charge, she's charging $50, which is the same that the county is charging. And I understand that Hamburg is actually charging more than $50, but I forget what the exact amount was. So my feeling was if the county's charging 50, she should be able
The
to
bank charges what for a bounce check?
charge the same. She uses Tompkins Bank. And as a tax collector, I'm not sure if they charge her anything. But she still, has to wait till she gets a letter from the bank, and then she has to do whatever she has to do with her finances, and then she has to contact the owners, and you know what I mean? So there's a lot of time involved anyway. I don't know if she actually gets charged by the bank or not.
So to your knowledge, are these fees all the same that they have been previously? Or to your knowledge, are these fees that are in this resolution the same figures that have been charged historically?
She has been charging these amounts because she checked with the county, and
No,
the
I
county
know.
said that's what they.
My question is, are they the same? But we're not raising from last year. They're the same.
Well, last
Just
year it
setting
was
the rate.
Becky Reinhardt, and I don't know what she charged.
Okay.
But I would say that this isn't more than what she charged.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what Becky was charging, because I don't think they ever did this before, but we should. And it's just so that, you know, tax collectors can't charge whatever they want. Like, they can't say, well, you know, this is the third time you bounced a check, I'm charging you $150. Without a resolution saying what the limit is, she can charge whatever she wants, basically.
So the duplicate billing is $5.
Mhm.
That's what she, is in that, in this agree, is that, do I have a copy of this agreement?
Yeah.
Uh,
I emailed it to you, I don't know if I made you copies.
Okay, so this is what, section 1, $5, section
Yeah.
2,
That's for
$50.
the certificate.
Right.
And that's the bounced one.
That's for tax certifications issued. Usually realtors are the ones that call for that.
I saw that Tilden charges 40, and typically it's 25 to 40.
The cost is 25 to 40. Okay.
And then this is the bounced one. I don't know what they charge the bank.
Depends what bank,
Yeah.
they're all different.
I'm indifferent, okay? I don't know how big of an issue
Did we
this
sign
is.
this?
I think if that's what the county's
Just-
charging, I
just-
think, you know, if that's what their tax collector is charging when she has to do these things, I don't see why another tax collector, you know,
Mhm.
should have to charge anything different. I think they're reasonable, but
You can make a motion to adopt the resolution and adopt the fee structure, if you're inclined.
What do you want to do?
Adopt it. I'll
Okay.
make a motion that we do that.
Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Do we have a copy?
You sure?
Yeah, no, I'm not really, but okay. I mean, everything's gone up, so whatever. I mean, but it is, you know, this is the taxpayers.
Well, you can always amend the resolution if you,
we'll have to redo another one in January.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, we're.
Can we amend it right
we're
now and put the
collecting-
numbers, change the numbers a little bit?
We're
Yeah.
collecting taxes on
Sure.
them, and now we're punishing them with, you know, a higher rate than what is even what Tilden's charging. I don't know.
Well, here, mark in there what number you want to be.
I'll take Tilden's.
We're
number.
charging, what is Tilden charging?
For the bounce check.
40 for the tax certification.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, I couldn't find what they do with the bounce check, and like you just said, I'm not sure what a bank,
Yeah,
I think I
depends.
saw $30 some time ago for a bounce check, but it could be 50.
Yeah, it
Banks.
depends, you know, Wells Fargo, probably $100.
Banks.
You could always list it
You're
as,
being recorded.
you could always list it as the fee plus, you could list it as the fee plus 10% or a percentage, instead of saying it's $40 or whatever, because if the bank charges you 40 or.
I
and
just,
then you add 10%
I
on
don't
top.
like all these add-on fees, okay? That's not me saying it. I'm just,
Well, she should be compensated for doing.
no, I understand that,
You
yes.
know, like, she has to do the tax certifications mostly
Okay.
for realtors, so like, she should get compensated for her time for doing that.
Do you want to leave this check bouncing fee the number the same, George? The check
I don't
bouncing,
know what is standard, so.
yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't.
I think it's
$30
$30 from the
on
bank,
checks now,
I
okay?
guess that too, that was a while ago.
and I don't think the bank charges her.
Oh, okay, well, okay.
So,
Did you get that, Jerry?
for her time, you know,
What do you want?
you can make it whatever you want.
30.
You make this 30?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll make it 30.
Okay, so bounced or return checks will be 30,
It's just 30.
Oh, this is, okay,
It's just 30.
and then what about tax certification?
40.
40.
And $5 for the duplicate
Tax bill.
Okay.
tax bill, okay? So 5, 40, and 30.
And this can be revisited in the beginning of the year
Yes.
if it
Okay.
turns out this is.
So with those
Not covering
changes,
our
do we have a
costs.
motion to adopt this resolution 26-8?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carry.
Are you going
Pass that
to
back down.
update it and have us sign it?
Yeah, I'll update it and have you guys sign it later.
Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution 26-9, PennDOT Winter Maintenance Agreement and Resolution.
So I have the winter maintenance agreement. It's exactly the same as it is every year. You have to sign it. The resolution is the
Um,
same one they give you every year to sign.
So I talked to someone months ago about this, and they were willing to do a 5-year term instead of 10-year term. Because it doesn't lock us in for so long if there's heavy inflation, that we were adjusted upwards in 5 years instead of waiting 10. They were willing to do that, bro.
This is the snow removal agreement. That agreement was for something else.
No,
This is the winter maintenance services agreement. This is us agreeing to plow their roads.
That's right, we could do that for 5 years instead of 10.
And it does say 5.
Does it say?
It's a 5-year agreement.
What's the terms of
With
that
5
agreement?
additional 1-year terms following. So we would agree.
Does it say that in the agreement?
It does. I don't have a copy
Can I
of
see
it.
it?
And I don't have a copy of it. I just wrote my
Jane, can
note.
I see the agreement?
I wrote my note to myself. The winter season is October 15th through April 30th. It's 5 years, also 5 additional 1-year terms. They paid October 15th, and they increase it 2% every year.
The initial term of this agreement is for 5 years, the initial term. The initial term shall commence upon the earlier of the full execution date, yada, 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 and end on the 5th winter season, when the 5th winter season is completed. After the initial term, covering 5 winter seasons, the agreement will automatically renew on October 15th for 5 additional 1-year periods unless the parties mutually agree in writing prior to June 30th of the 5th year of the initial term or June 30th of any 1-year renewal period
Is the catch
That's why
there
there's
the
so
mutual?
many.
to terminate the agreement prior to the commencement of the subsequent renewal period.
Is mutual the catch word there, that we mutually have to agree
That's how I'm gonna
to
start writing my
terminate
agreements.
at the point of yearly?
We must
Yeah,
mutually
basically.
So at the end of
Well,
5
well-
years, by June, you have to
Well,
terminate it, or it goes for another year.
Practically speaking.
But it has to be mutually agreed
Yeah,
upon.
it has to be mutually agreed upon.
So
So
they
if
might
you
say-
don't agree to
Mutually
renew it, you don't have an agreement.
Actually, no, that's not good. Some of them I wanted to.
So you're saying
Yeah,
it's
so
not
it
a
would be-
5-year agreement then, or is
It
it?
It isn't, no, it's a 5-year,
Okay.
it's a 5-year term, but there are 5 1-year options to
Oh.
renew after that, which automatically renew. And you can get out any year, so you're 6, you're 7, you're 8.
As long as
you're
you
9.
catch it by the renewal date.
Yeah, and you've got to mutually agree. So, you
So if
know,
we say
what-
no.
if you say
it's not
no, then
mutual.
there's no agreement and you're out, in theory. But it's a 5-year initial term.
And they're plowing their roads again.
Yeah.
Right.
They're never gonna stop.
Right, exactly. So we probably.
But see what the number is in 5 years and then decide if you want to negotiate another year.
Right.
Everyone's got to buy their own dump truck.
All right. You got any comments beyond that?
No, I guess we would approve it.
They're gonna start driving the tractor around.
Are you good with it?
Fire truck. Just the fire truck.
All right, I'd like to make a motion, we adopt the resolution 26-9 to the PennDOT maintenance agreement and follow up in 5 years to revisit it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried. Next on the agenda is grant writing. And I asked Jane to put this on the agenda, so I'll speak to this. I think we ought to potentially look into a service for a company to write grants and see what their charges are, and if there's any opportunity there for us. So all we're doing here is asking for to explore it.
Okay.
You have something to say, Chris?
No.
Oh, you're clearing your throat.
I'm clear my throat.
Sherry, there was
It's
also
summer cold.
that Comcast franchise renewal. Remember you mentioned that back in June, but somehow we didn't discuss it.
There you go.
Do you remember that?
I'm trying to recall. It's, yes, I
Disclose
believe
that
there's, we
information,
did a
please.
size of a check.
And you said, do we usually just let this roll, or do we have communications with
I
them?
think it just rolls.
We'll just roll it.
Yes.
Mm.
There was no action taken on that.
Yeah, we should have a franchise agreement in place with them.
And it's not a negotiating thing. They pay what they pay, right?
There's a maximum that we can charge. I'd have to look at the franchise agreement. But usually the municipalities demand the maximum.
So we're probably there already, but you know what?
Most likely, I
We
haven't
also-
seen it.
We also gave the Hamburg Commerce Park away, so
Yeah.
we might not be there.
I have not seen that agreement, that franchise agreement, so I don't know what it says.
That's the one that they said renews, I forget if it renews in 27 or 2028, and we asked for a 5-year agreement on that one, and they said, no.
So it's how many year agreement is it then?
So we're not getting an agreement on that, they just have to notify us like a year and a half or so long before it actually comes up for renewal.
So it's, they notified us, but it's not up for renewal yet.
Correct.
Okay.
I have notes in there
So.
about it with
So
all
I
the
think
dates and
I
stuff.
think what we ought to do is Chris ought to get a copy of that to review it, so when that day comes, we're ready.
Okay.
Is that what you're suggesting? Okay.
Make sure we're ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the franchise agreements are all form standard
Mhm.
agreements, but the most important part is what we're getting paid.
Well, yeah, we're getting the maximum that we're allowed.
Yeah, there is a maximum.
There's a
fee.
maximum that you're allowed, and the
Yeah.
Are we there?
township,
Are we there?
we're getting the maximum.
Yeah, so
Yes.
there's not much else you're gonna do.
Okay.
So if your township had millions and millions of dollars, you could, give your residents a break and have them pay a little less
Wow.
and take less of it. But right now, we get the maximum. And she said all the surrounding townships around us are getting the maximum too. But I'll get Chris, you just want a copy of the.
Yeah, that's fine. Then I have it on hand.
Yeah, I'll look through my notes and see when that when it renews. It was confusing. When she sent the email, she said she was contacting me about renewal, but it wasn't due.
Okay.
So, all right.
And are we reposting the truck for municipal? Because that runs out in a couple days, right? Do
When
we
is
need to repost it?
Repost what?
The truck on municipal?
The 18th, what'd you say, the current bid's 12,000?
Do you
So
need
it
to
still
take-
hasn't met our reserve.
Do you need to take action on it on the 18th, or will that automatically renew as?
It's done, it's
I
done
don't-
on the 18th.
But
Can
we
you
have
read-
the option to accept or reject that bid on the 18th. That's
Well,
the
it didn't-
question.
It didn't meet our
I
reserve.
understand, but we can still accept or reject that bid, correct?
Yes.
We can accept it if you want to.
So,
but-
so how are we going to do that if it goes up to something close to the reserve?
When they put their bid in at $12,000, they get a message that says, did not meet the reserve. So they know they didn't meet the reserve, even though they
Okay.
put their bid in. So they know, so you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
So after the 18th, it'll
It
come
automatically
off.
drops.
So it's
And
no
then-
longer for sale on municipal, okay.
We can put it right back on for another 90 days if we want to. I don't think you have to wait in between. You
No,
can just
We can just
You can
repost
repost
it.
it.
Okay.
And then you can decide if you want to,
Lower
because
the
we have to
reserve.
change the mileage because we've been using it. So I have to change the mileage on it. And, you can change the reserve if you want to.
But if you put it right back on,
August.
there's gonna be a lot of questions, because they normally do that with those trucks. If you repost it right away, why did you repost it? Did the last buyer back out? A lot of people do ask questions, why it got reposted right away.
So it
Just
doesn't-
say nobody met the reserve.
So it doesn't just appear like
So
to people that.
it's the 18th, you said, which is next Tuesday.
Right.
Hmm?
The 18th is next
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just wait and see what happens if they repost it. If the following meeting, we'll have to discuss it then, right?
Yeah, I would just suggest, talk about it at the September meeting,
Okay.
and then see where it's at, how close you got. Maybe, maybe it's only 2,000-3,000 off. Well, are you gonna repost it hoping it goes for the
Well, but
extra
is
3,000?
that buyer still available?
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
they're high bid, so,
Okay, that's my question. In between meetings here, if it's only a little bit off and we want to accept it, how are we going to do that? Are we going to make them wait 2 weeks?
well, you almost have to make a motion now to say, hey, if it hits within, say, 5,000 of the reserve, he's gonna let it go, or you're just gonna hold on and wait till September meeting, and,
So you'll risk of losing the buyer.
because
What
it
is
does
it?
say on there, if it will be voted on, is on shore and stuff.
What does that mean?
it said, the one category that says, will this be voted on and stuff, and it's checked on sure. It's not voted yes, it's not no, it's on sure. So,
Can we change that now?
Will this be voted on? That's because I didn't even know what that means. What do you mean will
Can
you?
we amend that now?
you can,
does
it's still
that
up,
mean?
it's still up
Is
for
it
option.
voted on?
You should
The
be able
sale.
So the sale would have occurred, and then we need to vote it into action? Is that
Yes.
what
If you're,
that?
if you're
I
gonna
believe that
accept,
that's what
if you're
that
gonna
means.
That's
accept,
what I'm
if you're
hearing.
gonna accept it, a bid underneath your reserve, if you're still gonna sell it, or if you're stuck with your reserve price.
All right.
Because if you check no, it's absolute option,
Okay,
whatever you
so
get, you
why
get.
why don't we, the two of you work on, if you know how that works, help Jane,
So,
check that off, it's gonna be voted on.
yeah, because
So that leaves-
we gotta change the mileage anyway, so, update the mileage, which we had that on, that the truck was still in service. and we'll
Okay,
update.
but I'm, okay.
Well, because some people are like, oh, you had it listed at this mileage, now you're, you know, so.
And speaking of
It's all
trucks, how are the
$100.
trucks behaving? I didn't see anything run over to Route 61 lately.
Knock on that
Knock on wood, yeah,
So,
okay, so far so good, okay.
because we've been trading, so we've been using them, and knock on wood, they,
Good.
so. Okay.
And the other truck is supposed to be ready August something? Do we know?
Sometime in August.
August something.
They
okay.
said hopefully the end of August,
There
but
you go.
They didn't actually give a date.
they won't give you a date.
All right, we need to make, under new businesses, a motion to add planning commissioner appointment to the agenda, so we're gonna need to make a motion.
Motion to amend.
Amend the agenda here. So do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we need to have a motion to reappoint Josh Yupa for the planning commission for a 4-year term, retroactive to June of 2026.
So his term would end 2030.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to add Josh Yupa for a continued 4-year term that would expire June 2030.
Second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes carried. Next on the agenda is the financial report. And, a few highlights is, income for the month of July 15th to August 11th was $43,000, expenses of $107,000, which the majority of that was just to cover the paving project. And we drained the liquid fuels account to cover that project and take some additional money out of the general account.
This is not correct.
Yeah, I'm looking at something here that seems odd.
Yeah. I mixed up the numbers here between general fund and state liquid fuels.
They're backwards.
Well, the general fund, I didn't include the savings account. So the total's 196,802, but actually, the total general account with Pliget and M&T is 620, 651. Not 196.
Okay. All right, thank you, Jane. That's all in the financial report. Next, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the invoices for the month. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Please carry. Wrapping up the meeting here, is there any public comments, additional public comments?
I just want you guys to know I won't be here next month for the meeting.
Okay.
Because I think it's the Tuesday after Labor Day.
Yes.
Okay, so I won't be here for that meeting.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, feel free to just shoot over.
No questions? Okay. There's no need to go into executive session?
No.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
During the meeting.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.